could probably afford better marketing.
Ed's just told me that I'm not worth enough to Evian, so we're going to put it down, and I'm probably going to drink some tap water instead, because you know, the peasant that I am would probably be worthy of some tap water. Good morning all. Welcome back to YouTube. This is another, I'm not even going to say it, but I feel like I have to say it, Megisode. So yeah, this is another Megisode, and today we're going to do a full day of eating, because I've actually not done that in off-season yet, and I think it'd be good to show kind of where I am at in terms of calories. Obviously, in terms of how I'm looking body composition wise isn't really any different to the update that I actually put on in my leather look bikini a couple of weeks ago. I had one of them, of being poorly in between, but haven't really seen any differences when it comes to body composition at all. It's, if anything, it's probably given me a little bit of a rest, and I've actually come back. I've been stronger since I've gotten back. I seem to have gotten my fullness back really quickly as well, so I'm actually really happy with where I am sitting. Obviously, I've done my 8 weeks worth of pushing off season, take from that what you will, and then this is my first 10 days of kind of a period of cruising before we obviously go back into another pushing phase within off season. So yeah, more back to the food. So I put a post on around a month ago around the fear of eating, so I think that that's probably a topic that we should cover today. Probably won't really delve into that right now, but I think it's something that lots of people do struggle with, men and women, because I've actually had, which is quite, it was shocking to me, had about 10 men message me off the back of my post saying that it really helped them, and a few ladies as well, but the majority of males. So I think speaking about it and speaking about the worries that you have when it comes to obviously eating the foods and gaining the weight is probably a great topic to cover. So we'll probably cover that at some point. Might do a little bit of a debrief, we'll call it a debrief, and a shenanigans talking on the way to getting my hair extensions sorted out, because they've got a little bit matted. Sorry, Jade. So yeah, that's the plan of attack today. Gonna do some work, do some of my online course, finished all my check-ins, eat, show you that, train, push, and have a little talk around the fear of eating and gaining weight. So, we are here for meal 2. Ed came a little bit later. That wasn't his fault. I chose for him to come out. Just to note. But yeah, I took a picture of my meal 1, so Edward will put it somewhere on the screen, or maybe it's after, I don't know. But meal 1 is 50 grams of wild salmon. Oh my god, Caesar, that noise. 50 grams of wild salmon, 20 grams of avocado with 2 English muffins, and then I have 75 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of whey isolate with 100 grams of berries and a side of Zima. That's quite funny. Oh, you burped on me! That is not funny. No. Oh no. Oh, Z's. And now we have 100 grams of gluten-free pasta, 100 grams of steak, and then 100 grams of veggies that are mixed in there as well, that I'll eat probably with 100 grams of pineapple. Yeah, I'm trying to make my meals a little bit less volumised at the moment, because I'll be honest, I'm not hungry. The thought of wanting to eat is not cool. And then obviously when I got sick a little bit a week ago, then made my appetite even worse. But he seems to have come back round. But definitely eating each meal, I feel ridiculously full. But that's what bodybuilding is. That's what a real off-season is. Eating when you don't want to, because you have to make sure that you make the gains. Feeling uncomfortable, feeling heavy, feeling a little bit bloated, feeling a little bit full all the time is what it is. Deal with it. This is my pre-workout drink. I've made my pre-workout, but we'll talk about that when I eat it in a little while. Having the prepare. This is my favourite pre-workout. It's the only one that I ever use. It gives me blue teeth, but it is what it is. Right, okay. So I said that we were going to talk about the fear of eating. And do you know what? It actually turned into quite a nice little conversation that me and Edward had after I'd said that I was going to talk about it as well. And he had a really, really, really good point about the fact that if someone knows how to train properly and probably is quite a serious bodybuilder, and that's not me being offensive towards anyone, I think that you will more so understand the importance of eating a little bit more, especially for the way that you feel in the gym. And that was a point that actually Ed made, and it's really right. I think back in the day, if I would have eaten how I do now with the way that I actually trained, I probably wouldn't have really seen a difference, because I didn't really take it that seriously to actually see or warrant progressions, because kind of the focus, the mindset, the kind of drive wasn't, or the education wasn't there. More so the drive was definitely there, but the education probably wasn't, or the application. Whereas obviously now I can definitely tell when I've had like a day when I've been a little bit poorly before, and I've not had all of my meals, and I go into the gym the next day, I don't feel that same fire. Or when I first go into that deficit phase and you actually feel like there's little bits of pulls of calories that come out, like when you're in a prep and you're in like that depths of prep, like you can really tell the difference between those feels and when you've actually got more energy from food. So I think that was like a really good one to put there. And then another thing is obviously the fear of gaining weight. And do you know what, for most people, I think it stems from when you're younger, and whether you've been a bodybuilder or whether you've done a sport before and you kind of ate to be able to perform well, or you were just a young person that ate food and gained a little bit of weight. I think that fear comes from there, because your knowledge behind nutrition probably isn't there, so the choices that you actually do make probably aren't the greatest, and you tend to obviously add weight or gain weight, but it's not obviously good weight. You obviously gain weight that's, the majority of it is body fat rather than obviously gaining muscle mass, and the look is just not great. It's like, I know that when I'm like actually a little bit fat, compared to obviously when I'm in the depths of like an off season, the look is very different. I feel very different. I definitely, like, I'm not as pretty when I'm overweight. Even in an off season, like, I know that my face isn't as pretty as when I'm in a deficit, because obviously if I was a normal person, I wouldn't be ramming 6 meals down my throat with like near enough 1,000 calories per meal in there. So like it's not normal, and it is going to have an effect on you. Like, I'm sweaty all the time, I'm heavy all the time, like there's not really a lot of the time when you feel your best. Even when you feel like you try and you make an effort, it's just so different to like the normal. So and I don't miss that. I think obviously one day I'll probably go back to being able to do that, but for now obviously I can't do that. But I think that fear comes from when you are younger and you just gain weight, but it is fat, rather than obviously when you gain weight as a bodybuilder and it is muscle. It's like the thought process behind gaining weight to lots of people is, oh, I'm gaining fat, when a lot of the time when it comes to bodybuilding, if it is done properly, yeah, you are going to be adding an element of body fat there, but it doesn't have to be an excessive amount. And if you do an off season properly, it shouldn't be an excessive amount, but you are just adding tissue. And if you have chosen to be a bodybuilder, unfortunately you are going to have to go through an off season where you gain an element of body fat to be able to gain that extra tissue that you need to become competitive within your year to year. I think that this is another reason why lots of people struggle to take an actual off season and time away from stage, because they just struggle and fear to actually gain that weight because of the worry of what they're going to look like. It's that whole kind of vicious circle of, unfortunately, when you're in an off season and when you're a bodybuilder, you have to forget about what you actually look like, because it doesn't matter at that time. And I'm not saying that you need to let yourself go. I'm not saying that you need to not try to look attractive for your significant other or for yourself, but you probably won't at the majority of your time look your absolute best, let's be honest. But that's what you've chosen to do. If you've chosen to be a bodybuilder, you need to let that thought process go, and you need to remember what it is that you're actually doing it for. And yeah, some days you'll feel a little bit shit, yeah, some days you'll feel a little bit low, and perhaps you'll not get someone telling you that you look amazing every single day, etc. But you've got to remember what and why you're actually doing it for, and that tends to help me. It's when I'm feeling that little bit heavier, I'll look at my stage shots and I'm like, this is the reason why, because that area does need to come up. And is that a bit obsessive with obviously having to, or that want and need to get that little bit better every single day? Yeah, probably, but that's bodybuilding. Like, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you've got to have that mindset that you need to have to try and push to be that little bit better every single day. Otherwise, you might as well just be a normal person that doesn't bodybuild. So I think we're now going into a mindset of of the whole bodybuilding being a little bit obsessive, and I think that me and Ed actually had a great conversation with that as well earlier about the whole eating around being a bodybuilder, and the whole thing about having eating issues when you are a bodybuilder. And I think that, like, lots of people, like Ed said earlier I'm saying Ed said that it is an obsessive sport, like it is. And do you know what, I'm not gonna turn around and say no. I like to have not a debate, I like to have a discussion around it sometimes, because I think when you're in it, I think that you like to think to yourself, no, I don't have an eating issue, no, I'm not obsessive over food, no, I haven't got a negative relationship with food. When in the long long term, for the majority of people, when you have an eating issue before bodybuilding, the eating issue is probably still going to be there post bodybuilding. Like, you can get rid of some of the kind of negative mindset towards it, but you probably are going to have to keep that kind of element of routine when it comes to meals for the majority of your life. Otherwise, it is going to end up going back. Like, it is a way that can help, but it is something that you're probably going to have to keep up forever to make sure that it does actually help make those feelings and thoughts be a little bit more positive. And is that something that's healthy? I mean, you can make a judgment, maybe not, maybe it is, I'm not too sure, but I know that it's definitely helped me with my mindset towards food. What am I going to be like after I've finished competing, with my mindset towards food and that changing, and obviously then my body changing, and what's that going to look like for me? I'm not too sure. I know that I'd like to say that it probably won't affect me, because I will put everything in place to make sure that it won't, but with having kind of issues prior, I'm not sure if those will come back around, and I'm not sure if the kind of goal and focus of competing is masking those thoughts and feelings kind of right now. I'm not too sure, but I know that I am definitely in a much better place than what I was prior to obviously starting it, so it's definitely done positive things for me. But now we're getting on to all of that, and I feel like I've gone completely off course, so I'm sorry. I'm rambling, and I've probably made Ed's arm talk hurt for the last 5 minutes. So basically, if you've got a fear of gaining weight, you need to think about your why, and if your why isn't strong enough, maybe just be a normal person. Yeah, this one is not very aesthetic, but we've got 100 grams of rice noodles, we've got 100 grams of chicken, we've got 40 grams of avocado, and then we've got some vegetables underneath that I'll probably not eat. At least I'm not lying. Yes, I eat all of my vegetables, even when I feel like I want to be sick when I take every mouthful. Says no one ever. Well, everyone says it, but do they do it? Do they fuck? Some of them might do, so sorry if you do. I'll eat some.
Got enough bags there, Meg?
Just call me Meg the Camel.
Meg the Camel? Because I got that hump!
I wish. On this machine, I'm actually going to work the muscle in each part of the range, obviously based upon the resistance profiles that we do have on these prime machines. So I'm going to work in the shortened, lengthened and the full range of motion. So starting off with the shortened, Going to move on to then working in the lengthened and then into working it in the full range. So that is the plan of attack, doing these single arms, because this machine's actually really wide, and I found that with it being so wide, I struggled to get any kind of force on it until I get to about here. So literally all I was getting before was force here to here, so which is pretty pointless. So if I actually do it single, I can move over to the side of the machine and I can actually get a little bit more force on it for pretty much the full range of motion. So that is the reason why I am doing it single arm before anyone asks. Nearly tipping over my own feet.
They are pretty big to be fair.
Extra large shoes in the size 3 variety. Yeah, I'll wait in a second. Fucking hate it. It was going really well at Christmas, now it's fucking regressive.
Right, so come on. More depth, more depth. There we go. Yeah. Up. Come from. Good. Big step. Told you to stop.
Cunt. Were they okay? Yeah? PB that one. That was an extra two reps that. Big man thing. Rah. That is the Nautilus done. Got a PB on that one. Not by weight, by reps. An extra 2 reps compared to the last time I did that exercise. But it's loud and I've taken them off. Jesus Christ. Now onto the strive press. Going to try and get some extra numbers on this rather than extra weight, just because I got the lower end of the rep ranges the last time I actually did this session. So I'm going to try and go with the same weight, get higher in the rep ranges before I actually progress this. I'm going to go and choke on my own.
Take it. More. Come on then.
Most of ever done is 1 in a 15, and then I got the same reps as last time with 1 in a 15 with my 2 plates, and then I got an extra 3 reps on my backer. It's fucking massive, mate. You know what they call that? Fucking sick. Good one. Done a lot of exercises since I last spoke to you. The last time I spoke to you was on the prime where I'd done my PB. So I've moved on to the line cuff laterals. I was using the prime stack, but I don't actually like it. It's a little bit weird angled for me. So because I'm small, this old cable setup that's been here since probably the start of it being Iron Athlete is the stack that I am going for. And it actually feels really nice, can get a good connection. Went too heavy on the first set like a dickhead. So just got short of the rep range, and then I got quite a few on the lower rep set. So yep, now we are just moving on to the EZ push down. Gonna get some massive triceps, and then gonna do some overhead dumbbells extensions as well to get some extra massive triceps as well, because I don't have any of them. So it's what it is, gonna get them now. This is why I need a training partner that's taller than me, because I can't reach anything. I pick up his weight there. Lightweight.
How's the session, Meg?
Wonderful. I actually feel a little bit battered from it, which is always quite nice. Sometimes when you train push, you're a bit like, oh, I don't feel absolutely battered, and today I do, so good session. Good session. Just work out and watch a second of the film and keep while I eat it. In here I've got 120 grams of cream of rice. It is the rice flakes mixed with the JP cream of rice. And then we've got 30 grams of ISO, 100 grams of berries, sprinkled with a little bit of extra sweet cinnamon. And that's my post workout, which is the same as what it has been. It's just obviously an increase in volume. My intra workout, actually, I didn't speak about that. So that was 20 grams of JP EAA, 30 grams of the sustain with some pomegranate juice in and coconut water also. We'll move on to meal 5. So I'm just about to eat my second to last meal. Lovely Mr. Cuba's just put it on the pan for me. So that is 210 grams worth of gnocchi with 100 grams of steak. So the normal gnocchi does my tummy terrible things. So we have the gluten-free one, and then I've got some vegetables. And do you know what? I'm actually a little bit hungry. I know it's the matter with me, but I'm actually a little bit seen there. Honestly, you can't not be with me, can you? Right, okay. So we keep closing the door because Cooper's got the telly that loud because he's an old man. He literally can't hear anything at all. Nothing at all. Anyway, Zena, honestly, come here. Good girl. So I don't know where I've got to, but I'm going to eat my vegetables because I'm feeling a little bit hungry. I'm going to let Edward go because it is a little bit later. And I'm going to put the picture of my last meal somewhere. I'm going to take it, might look extra epic because I've taken it. I've spent too much time around Ed. This is what he's doing to me. He's rubbing off on me. Cuba just went, what are you, Megan? I went, amazing. So yeah, confidence breeds confidence, guys. No, I'm kidding. So my last meal is 100 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of nut butter. I'm doing it without looking at my whiteboard. 30 grams of whey and 100 grams of berries. So yeah, that was Megan's shenanigans for the day. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I felt like I did a big spiel earlier that you probably don't want to listen to me talk any longer right now. So I'm going to keep it sweet. I'm going to say I'm going to go to bed. So if any of you are going to bed when you're watching it, good night, God bless. If you're waking up, enjoy your cardio, work really hard. Don't pussy out on it. Maybe I shouldn't have said that word. Okay, so I'm going to bed in 2 hours. This ending's not gone very well, has it? Right, okay, so hope that you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching me eat. Hope you enjoyed the meals that I have. Hope that all of your bodybuilding journeys are going fantastically well. And just keep doing what you love doing and you will have the best time. Sending lots of love and special Meg Shizazzles into the world. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. See ya.